Okay. Okay. I'm going to talk about 4 different things that I have personally used to become addicted to progress. It's kind of a little bit of a background. So as a kid, I had a very addictive personality. And that manifests itself in games, in sports. And I'd find myself playing little games for hours and hours and hours. You know, whether it was shooting hoops or practicing the piano, or even playing Othello by myself, which I do all the time. I would be very addicted to it, and I got really good at this random set of skills. And I really wanted that to translate into something else when I got older. You know, I wanted to channel that so that I could control it. And I've been thinking about it a lot, and these are the 4 things that work for me. So, number 1, leave before you get exhausted. This may not be the case for everyone or for every skill, but for me, I've found if I really want to master a skill, I want to go until the point of maximum energy and then go a little bit past it and then leave. And so when I think back to the last time that I was playing Othello, I'll think, wow, that was so fun. I cut it off before I felt satisfied. This is something that you can see in all kinds of things, all kinds of examples like this with, like in relationships, for example, if you hang out on your first date and it goes really well and then you stick around for another 5 hours, they're probably not going to want to go on another date. You only really remember the last feeling. So leave the last taste in your mouth of any activity, make it a good one. Leave as you're on a high, and then increase the amount of times that you do that activity rather than doing it once for super long. Number 2, constantly improving. Now I mean this within a session of an activity. So let's use basketball, for example, if you're shooting hoops. Don't think of it as just repetition. I'm going to throw up 1,000 shots and I'm sure I'll get better after 1,000. Where that might be true, 1, you won't get as much better if in between each shot you were constantly tweaking and thinking and improving. And 2, it'll be a lot less fun. So I would literally do this as a kid in between every single shot. I'd shoot it and I'd think, like, oh, that was good, but you know, I leaned back too far. I was fading away, or my follow through was a little to the right, or you know, it bounced off in a way I didn't like, and that kept it exciting because you never really get perfect. And so you're kind of always chasing that, and that's what keeps the energy up. Number 3, minimize barrier to entry. Now, what I mean by this is get rid of all the things that would keep you from practicing it right now. So let's use the example again of the piano, let's say. If there are things that you need to set up, for example, if you have piano books, if there's like a bench or anything that you need to set up so it's perfect for you, if you're going to record it, whatever the case may be, leave it that way. Because if you think about doing an activity and then you think of all the things that you have to do before you do it, you're much more likely to not do it. One of the biggest reasons why people don't go to the gym is because of the drive to the gym. The longer the drive, the harder it is. So minimize as much as you can the things that keep you from doing it. You can see a great example of this with your phone. A lot of us are addicted to our phones. And the reason is, if we're sitting there and there's a quiet moment, we impulsively just grab our phone. We go on Instagram, we start playing solitaire, whatever. And that becomes a habit, and that becomes an instinct, and it becomes an addiction. If we had to, I want to play a game on my phone, and if we had to put our shoes on and go upstairs and rifle through all these different boxes and find our phone and turn it on and wait 10 minutes just to go on Instagram, we wouldn't. But since it's so quick, we act on it right then. Okay? And then the last one, and this is one that maybe I'm the only one, but it's really something that moved me a lot as a kid, and I'm actually trying to incorporate it as an adult, is play a role. Make it like a fantasy, even within your own brain, whatever activity it is that you're doing. So as a kid, the obvious one would be when I was playing basketball. Typical kid. 3, 2, 1, for the final shot of the championship game. And it's more fun when you do that. It puts you in a more intense mindset because you're imagining like you're actually doing that activity. I would do that when I was playing the piano as well. I would pretend like I was in front of a big arena, and I would add pressure because it was more fun, it was more dramatic. And for whatever reason, we stopped doing that as adults. We feel it's illogical. It doesn't really serve us to pretend, and it's kind of childish. That may be true, but it's very helpful to get your brain into a state that puts you at peak performance. I wouldn't even tell people this. Even if when I was with other people, I would sometimes be narrating as if there was some kind of story. So find a story that makes you excited. That'll also help you kind of envision what you actually want. It'll make it more fun. It'll keep you in it long term, and it will kind of give you a vision for the goals that you have. So, yeah, there you go.